Speaking of hating, here this I thought was amusing. Ford apparently has managed to turn the Explorer into a death trap again. I don't know how many of you guys remember when everybody was worried about being caught alongside one of these Explorers on the freeway because the tires just kind of blew out on their own, and then
the rollover factor.
Yeah, they became these like projectile missile things that just caused accidents in the middle of the freeways.
Wait, how many actually rolled over?
There were actually quite a few. And then of course it turned out that part of that was Firestone. There was a whole collusion thing with them with Firestone. No, I think it was Firestone.
It probably was.
Yeah,
wasn't it all driver error in that they?
Oh, that's what they'll tell you.
Actually, you know what? I misspoke on that. It was Firestone, but it really wasn't their fault. It was all Ford.
Because they were underinflating the tires.
Yeah, they were underinflating the tires because Ford knew that the vehicle had a high center of gravity, an overly high center of gravity, and their response was to just take some of the tire pressure out of the tires, and actually Firestone didn't know they were doing it. And
so
that
you're
came out
basically
in
riding
court.
on your walls.
Yeah. So anyway, now the Ford Explorers have a different problem where people are actually becoming lightheaded, and in a couple of cases, especially with police cars, which is really nice and frightening, they've actually lost.
Wait, the police Explorers?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they call them something different.
They call them Interceptors.
Yeah.
But that's just the
brand, like that particular build.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a special tweaking. But it's still an Explorer, exactly. And so, but it's happened to more than 2,000 civilian. There have been more than 2,000 civilian complaints. But there's apparently carbon monoxide building up in the passenger cabin and causing people to become woozy. And in the case of one police officer, she lost consciousness, drove into a ditch, and destroyed her squad car. It's amazing that she lived. Wow. And of course, they put her back into another Ford Explorer.
Crazy.
So, yeah, this is kind of interesting. And Ford keeps saying they have no idea how this could happen. In fact, they're actually blaming the cops at this point.
Maybe we should have them made in China.
Maybe they are. Because
Touché.
they've been blaming the police because the police take the vehicles. They'll get the Interceptor package, which is a beefed up engine, suspension system, whatever, and then they take the vehicles and send them out to third parties to add all the fancy discotheque lights to them and everything else, and they make holes all the way through the vehicle. So Ford was claiming that it was all these extra holes that are allowing carbon monoxide to seep into the passenger cabin. And that's all well and good, except that it doesn't explain how come this is happening to civilian models.
Yeah. I don't know that I would buy that even with the case with the police models.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely at all. I mean, the vehicles aren't supposed to be
You're not putting
airtight to
lights
begin with.
inside it, but in between the firewall.
Well, no, but they actually are drilling holes so that you can get wiring to the switches that are inside the vehicle. They did show actual footage where there are holes in the vehicles because of wiring going in and out. And in all fairness, especially in some of these vehicles in other parts of the country, some of this workmanship did look kind of shoddy. I'm not going to lie. But again, you have this issue with the civilian vehicles, and it's happening there too, and they're not making holes in these cars.
So that's another explanation for the slow speed chase?
That was a Bronco.
What? Yeah, that was totally different. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was.
But
kind
that's
of
why they were
interesting.
driving slow.
If you are
because it was a Bronco.
If you are on the freeway and you happen to look over and see somebody in an Explorer, you better get the hell out of there fast because you never know when that guy's going to lose consciousness and he might veer right into your lane.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Safety first, people.
Exactly. So yeah, just keep your eyes.
So
out.
I think to solve the problem, all they got to do is have the little masks that drop out of the ceiling in the car. Or put like a little carbon monoxide sensor or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah. If one of the accessories that you can get the backup camera and
that should be standard.
The parking assist and an O2 bottle.
You know what's frightening?
With a mask,
What's frightening is that I bet you like one of those safety groups is going to come out and say, yes, we think we should require these oxygen masks in every vehicle from now on.
I'm wondering when they're going to make the carbon monoxide detector standard equipment in the Ford Explorers.
They'll do it across the board. They won't just put it in Explorers.
Yeah, you think so? Well, I mean, they already have them in RVs. Why not in cars? But, apparently Ford's going to really expedite that deal. So anyway.
Apparently.
All right, so moving on here. But, like I said, this was our consumer safety tip. Our public service message to you is watch out for the people in the Ford Explorers because you never know.